Okay, hello Mr. Berry. This is for my video for the APUSH summer assignment of video teaching about the time period through 1492 to 1607, the settlement of Jamestown. And I'm going to look at my notes. Yeah, my notes. So, not cheating, but so before the contact with the Europeans, the Native Americans were most likely uncivilized compared to the Europeans. However, the Native Americans did have some diverse cultures of their own, complete societies of political, economic, and social ideas, organized by tribes. However, after the contact with the Europeans, that completely changed during the Columbian Exchange. Not only exchanged slaves, but as well as significant political, social, and economic changes on both sides of the Atlantic Ocean, meaning the settlement of Christopher Columbus, was the beginning of all these problems and changes. Basically, the landing of Columbus basically started the contact between the New World and the Old World. For example, Spain. What is it? I can't see right now. Spain got this land for Native Americans. They set up the encomienda system for the forced laboring of Indians. They were not slaves, but they were as servants. Where is it? The encomienda system was supposed to protect and Christianize the Indians. However, it turned the opposite way when the Indians were forced to work, and the Spaniards took away lands from them. So the contact with the Europeans were basically, what should I say? Contact with the Europeans were basically the disadvantage for the Native Americans, because they were forced to work and they took their lands when the lands for the Native Americans were greatly valued by them. Also, they were getting punished. Many Europeans tried to Christianize the Indians. However, the Indians resisted the control by them, and as a result, the Europeans apparently they kind of punished them by killing, such as the Black Legend. I don't know if it's true or not, but it did kill many Native Americans because of their resistance from European controls. So during the 1492 to 1607, a very significant exchange occurs known as the Columbian Exchange. It's basically like exchange from around the Atlantic Ocean. It traded many products such as slaves, products made from the New World, transferring back to the Old World, so on and so forth. The New World, also known as the colonies, existed to benefit the mother country. The Old World would send this agricultural-based animals, also known as domesticated animals, and peoples to the New World to populate them. People who went to the New World were basically just going for wealth or money, or religious freedom. Some religious groups, such as the Quakers and Roman Catholicism, was persecuted by the New Church of New England. So those people tried to escape their restriction and try to have religious freedoms or religious tolerations in those colonies. I know I'm going kind of fast, but so the New World products like tobacco, rice, and wheat was transferred or transported to the Old World because compared to the New World, Old World, also known as England, had hard rocky soil and have less fertile soil to have good products based on agriculture. Oh, and the Atlantic slave trade for the colonies. Colonies had large plantation for tobacco and sugar, which brought in more slaves. The Atlantic trade fleet was a result of those expanding plantations. The journey itself was terrible. Conditions seemed very poorly maintained, with dirty floors. They exceeded the amount of slaves that can aboard, so they had to like be squished around. Yeah, so on and so forth. For the resistance of Native Americans, they did have many conflicts with the Europeans. However, some just migrated west to avoid conflict with them, when some others fought back, such as the Metacoms War of King Philip's. I'm going kind of fast, but it was basically a war for Native Americans to have the last attempt to quote unquote cleanse the race of Native Americans from the Europeans. However, the results, Native Americans got crushed. So I'm just saying there were a lot of conflicts between the Native Americans and the Europeans. Oh, and the transportations of Columbian exchange, or the transportation of products from the New World and the Old World, not only transported agriculture-based animals, but also diseases that killed off many Native Americans. As a result, it reduced the reduced the resistance from the Native Americans and forced them whatever they want to do with them. It's basically about it. The 16 was the setting of Jamestown of 1607. Basically, starts the development of colonies in those areas. Also leading to the conflicts and changes in political and economic systems between the New World and the Old World, such as the New World, or actually the middle colonies, Virginia, Maryland, had like good plantations such as tobacco, where they had warm and humid weather as fertile soils to grow tobaccos and other products that can't be grown in the Old World. And basically, there's a connection between the two worlds, the Europeans, the Englands in particular, with the colonies, the Navigation Acts, and the Dominion of New England, that basically restricted and took control of colonies to be under full authorities of England by James II, So basically, that's it. During the 1492 and 1607, the settlement of Jamestown basically shows the development of the New World. 1607, the Jamestown was built, blah blah blah. Many conflicts between them, Spaniards and the Native Americans, the encomienda system. Yeah, that's basically about it. Yeah, that's about it. Basically, that's about it. Hi.